Now, we also know that sound can disorganize matter. You know, we have the famous commercial for Memorex that Ella Fitzgerald sang a note and broke a glass, right?
Yeah,
well, everybody
yeah,
can
right.
relate to that. We know sound, or an airplane flying, breaking the sound barrier can break windows and things. We know sound can disorganize matter. We're not as aware that sound organizes matter. So therefore, we don't use it that way. We even use it in the medical profession to break up kidney stones. We use ultrasonic vibration to disorganize matter. But if we had right now a little 1 foot square of plate glass, and we sprinkled some powder on it, and took a violin bow and ran it up the edge of it, it would organize in a perfect snowflake, perfect symmetry.
Just from the vibrations of the
Sound
of the bow against the glass.
Right. The vibration of sound that makes. Now, and those also include not only audible but inaudible sounds, because there are sounds so low we can't hear them with our ear, but they exist. And there are sounds so high that we can't hear them, but they exist. And they still have an effect on the entire environment. It might be useful to recognize, first of all, that what the human consciousness does with the universe is only now being recognized. There's a trillion times a trillion vibration or variables going on in this room right now.
Mm-hmm.
We're not paying attention to very many of them. What we're actually doing is ignoring them. We're ignoring most of them so that we can focus in the phenomenal world with our very gross physical senses and operate with each other on those certain narrow band parameters. But our conscious mind is more of an eraser than it is an antenna. But if we change conditions slightly, we can make a dramatic demonstration of how limited those physical senses are that we rely on entirely for everything. For instance, if the room filled up with smoke, we wouldn't see each other.
It's true.
Lights went out, we wouldn't see each other. So what are we really seeing? Did we disappear?
Mm-hmm.
Do I make you disappear when I do that?
Maybe. Don't do it too long.
But literally, with our minds, we are doing that all the time. The air right now is transparent, and I can see what's going on around the room. You can see. But as soon as that changes, or if our eyesight would change, what I used to do in my lectures is I would I'd have a slide projector. And I'd put a slide in, and I'd turn the projector out of focus. And I'd ask the people, what is that? It could be a square, it could be a circle, it could be anything. They didn't know. And then I turned it as it became in focus on the screen. In other words, when the focal point coincided with that skinny little screen there, it's a circle. Then I'd keep turning it till it went out of focus the other way. So we talk about ghosts, we talk about non-sentient beings, we talk about all of these other things. They're around, but we're not tuned into them because we're tuned out. What the human consciousness enables us to do, if we're properly trained, is it enables us to tune in to more and more of those trillion times a trillion variables at our option.
At the things that are unconscious to social society.
Sure, because we're trained not to. We're simply trained not to. It has consequences that are life and death consequences. We're killing each other all over the planet Earth because we think we look different. You know? That's only because our eyes focus on reflected light from certain surfaces, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Suppose our eyes only could perceive light reflected from the surface of bone. We'd all look like skeletons. You know, we wouldn't be talking about our hair and our eye color and all that. That would be transparent to our vision, just like the air is transparent to our vision right now.
Kind of like looking at an X-ray.
Right. Suppose on the other side of that, our eyes could perceive light reflected from the human aura. We'd all look like lights. We wouldn't see physical features because that would be like our internal organs, which we don't see right now. These are options. These aren't absolutes. And we kill each other over these options because we don't allow ourselves mentally to make another choice or to see a common denominator that's right in front of us.
Well, what do you think then we know that music can organize and it can disorganize, but obviously a musician a composer especially is pulling in, they're drawing in a sort of a line. There's some organizing principle that they're drawn from.
Let me talk to you about composition, because that's a great experience. I would say probably half of what I compose I do in my sleep. I dream it up. Because the mind that does that, the higher mind, they used to call it the right brain. It's not exactly right, but the higher mind that does those things, the imagination and all that, is wide awake when you sleep. That's why your dreams are so great. And everything makes sense in your dreams.
That's true.
Even though it doesn't make sense. So what that tells you is the mind that does that is able to find common denominators, which the logical, reasoning mind cannot find. Making sense is simply finding a common denominator. Nonsense is I can't see the correlation. That's all it is. Well, as soon as you can see the correlation between something, you can make something happen with it.